Okay, 7.3, the law of cosines. So we had law signs. Law signs had to have a complete ratio to be able to use it, yes? But what if you don't have a complete ratio?
You just don't do it.
Well, you have to use law of cosines. So law of cosines, I wrote it in terms of A, side A. So let's look at it. What does it remind you of when you look at it? Pythagorean theorem. And that's where it does come from. It's a squared minus b squared equals c squared. But then we have that minus over here. And this is that altitude, making those right triangles. So it's basically just side. I don't know how I decided to spell side. Side squared equals other side squared plus other side squared minus 2 times the other two sides cosine how am I going to phrase that?
Angle A.
Cosine of the side.
How's that not the angle though? It's capital A.
Right. Of the, oh, I said it. I really need to go to my erasable pens. Well, this is, it is cosine, it's right there, of the angle. I didn't erase both of them. Oh, I'm going to my erasable pen right after this.
This week you're struggling.
I know.
It's a Monday.
Okay, so this side and this angle, and that's the only place you see it. These are what? Everything else? So if I wrote it in terms of b squared, what would my other ones be?
A squared plus c squared minus 2ac cosine b.
Get how it works? What would c squared be?
B squared plus a squared equals b squared plus a squared to ab cosine c.
So does it matter? Like in the book, it shows these as like 3 different formulas. Are they 3 different formulas? No. It's the side, the other side, oop, I forgot my squared. The other side squared, 2 times the other two sides, the cosine of the angle. That's all it is. Okay? Now if I want just the side, I have to take the what of it all?
Square root.
The square root of it all. I like that color though.
Do you?
Yes. Okay, triangle ABC. I think this one's out. Angle A equals 60 degrees. B equals 20 inches. And C equals 30 inches. So you need to, first thing, draw a what? Triangle. Now, on your test, I obviously am not going to tell you which law, sines, or cosines to use, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So when you do your triangle, is it really important to make sure you label it right? So I have 60 and 20 and 30. So do I have enough to use law signs?
Yeah.
Law signs?
No.
No. I have log cosines. I don't have a complete ratio, so I can't. Now, law sines, if I had two angles, I can always use law sines, right? As long as I have one side. So look how the picture looks. It's actually the two sides and the included angle I have, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so that'd be a side angle side. So we're just going to use this. I'm going to tell you with log cosines, there's only one triangle. And I'm going to come back up here real quick before we start. Because in the first quadrant, cosine is what? Positive. But in the second quadrant, cosine is negative. So if I get a negative, I'm an obtuse angle, yes?
Yep.
If I get a positive, I'm a acute. There is no double. Like with sines, there was a double. It could be acute or obtuse. That's why we had to look. We don't have to look with cosine. Kind of nice, right? Okay, so we're going to find everything. So we're going to fill it in. So I would assume, actually, what is the only thing we can find right now? A, side A, right? So we're going to do A equals the square root. I'm just going to go ahead and take the square root of it because I don't want A squared, do I? No. Okay, so other side, 30, plus the other side, squared, I guess I'm not saying squared, minus 2, the two sides, 30 and 20, cosine of the included angle.
Cosine 60.
60. Okay. So sometimes we just take out our calculator, sometimes we don't, because I think we can do most of these. 30 squared is what? 900. 20 squared is? Minus 1200. And what is the cosine of 60? 1/2. So 1300 minus 600. That would be 700. Yes? And then we would approximate that with our calculator. So 26.45. So approximately 26 because they were whole numbers. Inches. I wrote really large. I didn't try to keep it in my space, and I should have. So how are we going to find an angle? Okay, guys, you cannot jump ship. You cannot jump ship. If you start with law cosines, you have to what? Finish with law cosines. Savannah was going to say, oh, now we can use law sines. Nope. Because if you go start using law of sines, you got to start checking for two triangles and to figuring out which one is good. Do you want to do that? No. Start with law cosines, stay with law cosines. Okay? So we're going to take this formula up here. And which angle do you want to do? B? Sound good? Okay. So if I have B squared equals A squared plus C squared minus 2AC cosine of B. How do I solve this? Because I want this by itself. Yes? No, not yet. I want to move it around first. Not divide by yet. Don't I have to move these two things first? Wouldn't I have to subtract A squared and C squared before I could divide? Because it's reverse order of operations. So I'd have B squared minus a squared minus c squared equaled negative 2ac cosine of b. Now I would divide both sides by negative 2ac. So cosine of b, I feel like I'm off the screen, is going to equal b squared minus a squared minus c squared over negative 2ac. And what would I do to get the angle? I take the what of it all? Inverse cosine to get just b. Now, think about it. So how am I going to break this down? Because I'm not going to solve it every time, are you? You going to solve this every time?
No.
No, I know you aren't. So what goes here? If I'm finding angle B, what goes here?
30.
No, but names. I want B, B, C, A. If I'm finding B, what goes here? B. Yes? So this is side squared minus other side squared minus other side squared. All inverse, right? Over negative 2 times the other two sides. Because I could rewrite it like I did up here all three ways. Do I want to rewrite it all three ways? No. Should you be able to look at this formula and move it and divide all by, like, without having to do it step by step? Probably. So this is law of cosines to find a what? Oh my gosh. My brain is malfunctioning today. Okay. So now I need to come up and do that. You guys got your picture, right? Okay, so angle B is inverse cosine of side. I don't know why I'm writing gigantic. What's B? 20 squared minus the other two sides squared. Now, I'm going to give you a helpful hint. Don't use 26 inches. Use the square root of 700 if you can. Why would I say that? Would that give me a better answer? Yeah. Now, if it doesn't turn out nice, then yeah, use the decimal. But if it's nice like that, use it. Over negative 2 times 30 times the square root of 700. Let's put it in our calculator. Make sure you guys can do that. Put it all in at one time. Make sure you put parentheses around your numerator so it does it first. And denominator. I get approximately 40.9 degrees. part of doing your homework, guys, is learning how to use your calculator, because on the test on Friday, if you come up and can't use your calculator, I'm not going to help you on Friday. So I'll do any other day, just not Friday.
When I enter it, it says error donate.
So you didn't put parentheses in the right places. So go back to it. Say go to, not quit. Okay. You should have one at the beginning. You should have one right here. You should have one right here at the end. And divided by, and then you should have one before the -2. And then close that one behind the square root of 700. And then close your Jaden, did you get 40.9?
No, I'm struggling right now, Miss Smith.
Okay. Cadence, did you get it? Savannah, did you get it?
No, but I see what I did wrong.
Okay. Matt, did you get it?
No.
You got it now. Bladen, did you get it?
What'd you get? Phew.
40.9.
Now I got it.
Okay.
I didn't put the squared after the square root of 700 on top.
On mine, I just wrote 700. I didn't even put the square root of 700. That's redundant. Okay, I want you guys to set up angle C. Matt, don't stop until you get it. Jaden, did you get it yet?
Yeah, I just got it.
Okay.
I forgot a few parentheses.
A few.
Yes.
You don't have to put parentheses around your square root and stuff, but they do. So they've got a few more than you do. Now, I already know that you should get 79.1 because I subtracted, but I want you to set it up. I want you to do this.
What was I supposed to get?
40.9.
8, 9.
Yeah, so it would round to 40.9. Okay, now you got to do angle C. Okay, did you guys get it to work?
No. Yeah.
Hold on a minute.
Gosh.
There's a lot to put in. And then there's a lot to miss out.
82.8. That's what I got.
Wrong.
It should be 79.1, so you were wrong.
I
Maybe
got
check
89.45. What'd you get?
82.8.
See, I got 89.45.
Well, I rounded, but it's 82.76.
Well, how do I know what should be there?
Jaden, did you put a square on the bottom?
I don't think so.
Like,
Well, they're supposed
Yeah.
to square the bottom number.
No, you are not supposed to square the bottom number.
Well, the square root of 700, I'm not supposed to square
Let's do it
that.
again.
On the top, you're supposed to square it, but not the bottom.
that's because it should be negative 2 times 20 because it's the
That's what it was.
Oh, shoot.
Yay.
Well, it's the 2 other
No, stop trying to defend Miss Mick.
No,
She
I
did
was
it
looking
wrong.
wrong.
And she knows it.
I fixed it.
Too late, Miss Mick.
Well, maybe if you were doing your own work and not copying mine.
That's not how this works. I'm supposed to copy your work.
Cheater. What? Did you get it yet?
79.1.
Okay, now, you all complained that there was a lot to put in and a lot to mess up, right? So watch, you're forgetting that you have a button. Remember that second enter button right here? I want everyone to hit second enter. Comes back up. All you have to do is go change the 20s to 30s, 30s to 20s. And I don't have to mess it up.
Why didn't you tell us this beforehand?
I've told
Why
you
you
about
gotta
that
be
button
so
before.
Because you always told me that, but I always forget what button it is, and I
'Kay.
just retype it all.
On yours, Jaden, all you have to do is go up and hit enter to what you want.
Oh,
The older ones, you have to hit second enter. And guys, I love it when people go, oh, you can't see what I'm doing. Watch this. I can see everything that's on there. So even if you clear it, you can still go back. I think it's 10 or 12.
Then all I have to do is 1 plus 1 12 times.
And then it won't be any good. But if I do that, am I going to make fewer mistakes? Yes.
Probably.
Okay, so I subtracted, so I knew it was 79.1, but I want you guys doing the math, not doing the subtraction,
Oh man, I forgot about that.
especially today. That's how I knew it was 79.1 before I did it.
How? What?
Because we had an angle, we had 60,
Yeah.
and we had 40.9. So all we had to do was do 180 minus those, right? Now I'm going to tell you another thing. When you're doing this, you need to make sure they all add up to what?
180.
180.
I already checked it.
So if one, for some reason, this went 0, let's say this was 0, 3, okay? And it would round to 0. Would that give me 180? No. So you need to go back and say, okay, does this one go up? Well, it already went up, right? So I just need to make this what? Using that square root helped us out. What do you think would happen if we used our rounded? Should we see? Okay, so I'm just going to come back here.
Look at 80.
Okay, also guys, it's set on delete. You see that right there? It says insert. If you hit second insert, you can just put things in. Oh, I was back at the wrong one. Of course. I get 80.2, actually 80.3. So if I had 80.3, what would be wrong with that?
Too much.
You're too much. Okay, so you need to watch your rounding. And I'm also going to tell you if you put things in here in chunks and not all together, that makes your rounding even worse. Your calculator will do it all at once, so do it all at once. Okay, so no matter what your assignment says, you're supposed to do what?
Find all parts.
Find all parts. So let's do one more together, and then we'll call it.
I'm upset that we're doing math that takes up a third of my paper.
I'm sorry.
Me too.
Okay, triangle ABC again. Imagine that. They're so inventive. Side A equals 34 kilometers. Side B is 20 kilometers. And, side C equals 18 kilometers. First thing we do is what? Draw a picture. You should already know you can't use law of sines. Why? There is no angle. So should we just start with A?
Yes.
Okay. Angle A. And I just put inverse cosine. Because there's no point moving around, right? Okay, so angle A, so what goes right here? 34. A goes right here, right? That is the only time you see A anywhere, isn't it? Everything else is what? The other stuff. Okay? So 34 minus, does it matter 18 or 20? Nope. 18 squared minus 20 squared over the negative 2, the other two sides. So 18 times 20. And we're not even going to touch our calculators yet. We're going to set up B. Matthew, what comes first for B angle B?
Squared.
For B,
20 squared.
20 squared. Then what?
Minus 34 squared. Minus 18 squared.
Over
Over negative 2 times 34 times 18.
Okay, and everybody set up C on their own. And then solve. I just think it's easier to put them all in, like set them all up, then put them all in my calculator so I don't mess them up. Can I do C now? You guys done? Are you guys using your second enter? Okay, I'm going to suggest you give yourself 2 or 3 decimals before you round, and then do all of them so you can make sure which one you need to adjust, if you need to adjust. Does that make sense what I'm saying? Did you get 126.869, 28.072, and 25.057?
Miss Nick,
What?
why is it not working now?
Cause isn't like the Jetta?
Okay, I'm going to round them how I would round them, but then is there a problem with that?
Yes.
It's over.
Jaden, there's mine. It goes over by 1 degree, doesn't it? Or 0.1, a tenth? Okay, so which one do you think we should adjust? The one with a 0.5 or 0.05 or 0.07? 0.05 needs to go to So do you see how if I gave myself some extra, I can see which one is the one that needs to not change? Jane, this is what I got. Which one's not working for you? Any of
That
them?
was my angle B. I got C and A so easy.
Okay, so what you need to go do is go back to your A and hit enter and change your 30s, your 34 to a 20, and your 20 to a 34.
Yeah, I'm getting there.
Was it nicer just to write them all out and then put them in your calculator than try to go back and forth to your calculator? Okay, so the nice thing about this is I don't have to look for 2 triangles, do I? Can I jump ship in the middle? No. I also don't want you subtracting to get that last angle. I want you doing them all out. I know, I'm so mean. It's really not that much work, is it? Did you get it yet, Jaden?